Okay, I told you we were going to cut this out, but that's actually not true. We have to get the green pieces put on here. I have some extra fabric here. Looks like from cutting out a diaper. Alright, so let's just grab some of this for here. Grab some of this for there. Tiny little pieces. I'm going to lay this diaper pattern on there. Kind of get it centered. And then fold this back on that line that I just drew. Duh, could have just made a mark at either end. Yeah, see, that wasn't even straight. I have a straight edge somewhere. Am I being too precise? Probably. Is it gonna look good? Sure. So I'm gonna actually sew on these two lines that I'm drawing. I'll take you to the sewing machine with me this time, that way you can see what I mean by I'm sewing on the line. I'm actually not going to line up the fabric with the line. I'm gonna sew on the line. So what you'll see me do is I will line this up. I'm not going to be able to sew on that line because I have to cover it up. Logic and reason. Now I'm going to sew on the line. So what I did is I just transferred it to the outside there. So I'm going to place that on that line. Notice I have some seam allowance here. I'm actually going to do the same for the other side. Make sure there's a little bit of, that's not the right way. Make sure there's a little bit of seam allowance. Line this up with both ends. Transfer that line. Now let's sew on those lines. It is unrealistic of me to think that they will both stay in place, but it's alright. No big deal. Let's go ahead and sew on one, and then whatever happens to the other one, we'll fix it. You don't need a back stitch here because you're literally going to be cutting it anyway, and therefore your back stitching won't mean anything. I mean, you're going to cut it off. Yeah, that didn't stay. Put it back on the line at this end. Put it back on the line at this end. Sew on the line. And then I'll show you the top stitching. Let's see here. Go ahead and cut this back. And I actually wanted to top stitch on the link fabric. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm just going to cut this back so it's like 1/4 of an inch maybe. We don't need too much seam allowance really. And then I will top stitch it down to the other side. Trying to hold it in such a way that you can see it is hard. I'm just putting that out there. It's difficult not being able to see what I'm doing. Alright, I'm going to actually fold the seam allowance toward the link fabric. Because I want to top stitch on the link fabric. And the top stitching is partially for looks and partially to hold the seam allowance to one direction or the other. So and the reason I want to top stitch on this fabric is just to hide it. I think it'll look nicer than top stitching on the green. Same thing. I'm going to fold the seam allowance, just send it that direction towards the link fabric. Top stitch it down. Don't suppose I had to. The reason being is the green is going to get top stitching on it anyway because it's a tab. It's a snap tab. So, all right, let's move back over to the cutting table. We're going to put basting spray on it, or on our PUL piece, and then lay it on there. All right. Here's what it looks like. My goal when I get this sprayed is to lay it cloth side down, fabric side down, and get the seam that I made in the crotch lined up with the middle of the diaper, and also get the tabs pretty much equal on both sides. So let's do some measuring here and kind of draw around on the inside of our PUL. So here it's 2 3/4, and there it's 2 3/4. That's crazy. I lined that up right away. 2 3/4. So I'll be lining it up with that, and then I kind of want it pretty much right in the middle. So let's just fold it and put a little mark in the middle. Now where I put these marks are well within the seam allowance, so you're never going to see them. I did them with regular ink pen because I'm marking on the PUL side, or the plasticky side of the PUL. The erasable marker, the washable marker, just does not write well on that PUL, on the polyurethane side. Alright, so after I get it sprayed with the basting spray, this is what it should look like. I'm going to go ahead and mark a couple of marks here, so I know where I'm supposed to go. Okay. Set that aside. This is wax paper. It's been used a few times for this exact purpose, so it's actually not wide enough. Let's grab another piece. It's been used exactly 10 times because I used it for the diapers yesterday. All right. Grab our basting spray. Shake the can. Spray that on there. When you're done, turn the can upside down and do short bursts to clear the nozzle. You don't want your nozzle getting clogged. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this down on the floor, lay out the fabric, make sure there's no threads in the way, grab the piece of PUL, turn it so that the glue side is down, and attempt to lay it down. This might take me 3 tries. I hope not, but you know, I make no promises. They claim that it's repositionable, thank goodness. I want it to be up there. And then I want it to be like that. That looks pretty good. Okay. Oh! Goodness gracious, you know what I just did? I glued it to the wrong side of the fabric. All that work wasted. Thank goodness I didn't spray the wrong side of the fabric. Try again. No harm, no foul. I would say the only harm or foul is that I no longer have the marks that I created. But I'll probably do better without them anyway. Look, I did. Not too shabby. I got the marks lined up with the seams, and this is just above the seams, so I'm happy with that. Now, I found out that if I use a rolling pin, which I couldn't find, it helps to smash that down a little bit. So, welcome to my makeshift rolling pin. Alright, that is permanently attached. I mean, it's permanently attached with temporary adhesive spray. And the reason I say it's permanently attached is because I will not have a reason to remove it ever again, so it's permanent in my eyes. I'm just going to cut around it. That's it. Cut the excess off. Alright, let me take care of this and I'll get back to you. And done. Now, if you feel like your basting spray is making your fabric very ripply, just remember that basting spray is temporary and it will wash out. So here we have the green tabs, and we have link right side up. Looks like 3 times because, I mean, that guy, he'll still be there, but this one will be lost in these 2 here will be lost in the seam allowance. So we'll have this guy and these 2 here. And then on the front, we've got 2 here, and then I should have planned that out better because he's going to be kind of lost too. Oh well, too late now. It'll still catch poop. And I think it still looks really nice. So let's move on to basting spraying the next one. This one would be much easier. Where is the fabric? There it is. Much easier because all we have to do is lay the fabric on there. Oh, please tell me it's wide enough. It does not look wide enough, people. Oh, it is. Thank goodness. So we're just going to spray this and lay it on the fabric. This is the wrong side of the fabric. That's the right side, the brighter side. I'm going to get this out of the way. Bring up my wax paper that's all sticky from just being sprayed. Lay another piece on it. Spray it. The places you want to focus are the outer edges and the snap area. Set this down on the floor. Lay out the fabric that I just had. Right side down. Nice and smooth. It's actually got to go that way. So can you guys still see it? Because it needs to pool up here at the bottom. If I let it slide off the table, the whole thing will go. Should I worry too much about how straight it is from one end to the other? I don't think I'm going to. Although I think I did pretty good. Roll it out with my rolling pin / water bottle. There was a ripple in it. Alright, now let's cut this out. The 1 can of basting spray has now done 10 one-size diapers and 4 newborn diapers. So 14 diapers total, and there's still some left in the can. It might get me another 2 diapers or so, based on how quickly it's been draining. Not too shabby, I would say, to get 16 diapers out of 1 can of basting spray. And the basting spray pretty much eliminates the need for pens. And made us go so much faster yesterday. Still has that ripple in it. I mean, I don't know how fast everybody else sews, but one of these diapers takes me an hour and a half. And unless I'm talking my ear off. So to get 10 done in 13 hours, I feel like that's a really good number, a really good amount. And I think that's all due to 2 things. Basting spray, no, 3 things. Basting spray, the bodkin, and the fact that my sister-in-law was doing all of the cutting of the PUL and all of the snaps. So, teamwork. I would say. Helped tremendously. And check that out. Now we have 2 diapers, and then there's the other parts of the PUL, wherever they went. There they are. Let's move to the next video.